Alright, so another project I'm going to do is I need a desk for the computer. So I got this old barn board. That's one of them that we picked off a pile of boards that somebody was cleaning up a farm and was actually going to burn them all. So it's pretty nasty. It's got a few termite holes in it, but it's already been sprayed for bugs. So now all I'm going to do is take just a mix of, it's a deck and fence brightener and Dawn, and I just go over it and scrub and get all the nasty stuff out and get it a little bit lighter. I just did that to this piece right here, and that's for a plaque that I'm making, but it really helps clean it up and brighten it up. If I have boards that still have the original red paint from the barn, I don't scrub as much. I want to keep that as much as I can, but man, this will look really good. Sometimes you gotta look past the ugly. Backside is looking pretty good too. Yeah, this side might be hard to see on the camera, but this side you can definitely see the saw marks coming through. Now to let nature dry it. Another hot sunny day in southern Illinois. So that won't take long to dry. Well, here's the boneyard. Everybody's gotta have one of them. There's a bunch of old barn boards. Ones that we picked off that pile. Eventually I'll get them in. They still got nails though. And then this is just a pile of assorted barn boards. And there's some bark that's out there drying. Alright, so that's that board. I just cut it into two 41-inch sections. That's how big of a space I have between the two windows to use. And then the top is going to be about 19 inches, plus or minus a little bit. Should be a good size computer desk. And it turned out pretty good. I went over it with 120 grit, 80 grit, and then a 120. And now I'm going to do a 220. And I don't want to smooth it out too much. I want to keep the saw marks in it, but you know, I obviously want a smooth surface to put the computer on. And I did already smooth out these edges here. The front, this will be the front, and that'll be the back. I know it has a little bit of termite holes up on the top there, but that'll be towards the back of the computer. And that was actually the better side of that board anyway. They're pretty straight. I don't have a planer or a joiner, but you know, that's what nature makes with wood. So I'm going to do my best to put it together, and we'll see once how it turns out. Here's a peek at what the legs are going to look like. I'm going to use some cedar that I already have. You can see that this one over here is pretty dark. It's already got the red popping out on it, because that's all the way down to the core. That was a really old dead standing one that I'm going to use. And then this one still has some of the outer wood on it. The bark's gone, but the outer wood is still there. And then this one, I'm not going to use the bottom here because it's too big, but I'm going to take these last 29 inches here, and this is what it looks like before I start tackling it with the sander and with the tools that I use to smooth it out. So the board's ready to put some finish on. Normally I just put a coat of clear on it, but these are white oak, and you can tell you know, there's some really white spots on it. So I wanted to add a little bit of color, so I had some cherry Minwax. So like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of color to it. I think it'll look really cool once it gets with the other wood. And the legs will be cedar, so they'll have a little bit of red in them. So I'm going to leave that color on top, and then it has just a tiny bit of red in it, not a whole lot. But I think it'll go good with the legs then. So I'm just putting a thin coat of that on, just to give it a little depth. And you'll see the saw marks a lot better. I mean, you can see them now, but they really stick out once you put a little bit of color on them. Yep, I think that'll work out real good. I like the color. It always looks orangish and yellowish on the camera. It's really not. It just looks like a light cherry. Basically looks like a walnut color. So I'll get the other one done. And then move on to the legs. I got my legs cut. Cut them at 29 inches. That'll give me like a ½ inch or so to play with. But they're all about 3 inches in diameter at the most. Some of them are a little bit tapered, but they're almost all the same size. So those I'm just going to use that clear poly on, and I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. Alright, so I got all the staining and varnishing done, and I got 3 of the legs on. Well, I got 2 on already. What I'm doing is I'm attaching a metal plate to the underside of the log first, and then I'm attaching the plate, the iron plate, with the log on it. So you can see right here, this one's I haven't mounted yet. And I just have a couple of little brackets in the middle, one there and then 2 on the ends. But there's going to be a rail for a keyboard and a mouse drawer. So that metal rail will also help support that. Plus these are solid oak, they're not moving. And you can see it, I mean, it's a little bit crooked right now as far as the legs, but that's okay because I'm gonna straighten them out with some branches that go in between there to support them. Alright, so I went out to the boneyard, got a bunch of branches, and the ones I looked for were the ones that are already solid, red on the inside. And that will match then the dark that those posts came, because those are solid. That's core, that's that heartwood of red cedar. So I didn't want to get anything too light, otherwise it's going to look, you know, completely different than the rest. But I found this really cool. It's twisted. I think it'll look really cool as the back brace for the 2 back legs. Right now, you know, it's all the gray and it's got a little algae on the inside, but that's how that one fireplace one turned out. It turned out really cool. And then for the edges, for the sides, I'm going to end up using some branches. But what I'm going to do is obviously cut them to fit that, but use them as the brace, the leg bracing, so it'll look more natural like a tree. I like using the V part because then you have more points of contact to help straighten the legs out. The branches sanded, and I just put a coat of stain on them. It's the stain with the varnish, same thing I used for the top. And then this was that bigger one that I said was going to clean up pretty good. I actually did. Got that really cool twist in it and a lot of grain to it. Looks like a braid or pretzel all rolled up. So I'm going to put some stain on it, seal it, and see what it looks like. I think it'll look really cool. Yeah, it's going to look good. Now, like I said, the camera always makes it look like it's orange. It's really not orange, but it's really pretty, and it's going to have different colors too. It's going to have the lighter in the back here. You can see those swirls. Here, let me put a little bit on there. You can see that. What I'm talking about. You can see the light cream color and then the darker. So yeah, that's going to look good when I get done with that. Alright, well there you have it. My weekend DIY computer desk. Made out of barn boards and cedar logs. Alright, so this is what I envisioned. It actually came true. All I wanted was a little computer desk. I ordered the keyboard tray So that'll be coming in. But I think it turned out pretty darn good. It fits. The colors are nice. And I like the look. So overall, I'd say it was a pretty good success. I love this back piece here. Alright, so my keyboard tray came in, and I looked at several different ones, but I ordered this one. It's a little extra wide, and it's adjustable. And it was real easy to put together. All I had to do was put them tabs on and the rails. So I'm just working on attaching the tabs to the underside of the desk. Alright, so here's the final product. I was waiting for the keyboard tray to come in, so I just installed that, and that was really actually pretty easy. It just had 2 braces underneath it to attach with 4 tabs, and looks like it'll work just fine. So, another DIY project down. Time to start working on something new. What that'll be, I have no idea yet, but all I have to do is go outside. I'm sure I'll find some ideas. Thanks for watching.